Hello everyone and welcome in today's PECB webinar. My name is Gzim and I am the account manager for security portfolio at PECB, also the organizer of this webinar. I believe you all know that PECB organizes daily webinar in our 5 portfolios, and every week we organize a webinar on security portfolio covering different topics and areas. In this 30-minute webinar we will hear about topic Internet of Things, IoT, new identity access management system implementation. This presentation will be hosted by Mr. Sofiane Chafai, who is PECB Certified Trainer and is an information security professional with more than 20 years of experience in managing ICT and security transforming programs, process and system implementation, business consultancy, and business continuity management. Mr. Sofiane Chafai is contributing to the information security community as ISC, EMEA Advisory Board member, ISACA active member, and charter member of the Algeria Information Security Association. I hope you will enjoy this webinar and find it very informative. If you have any question, you can write them in question box in right-hand control panel, or you can use the option to raise your hand and we will answer to all of them accordingly. Please, Sofiane, you may continue now.
Thank you. Hi everybody. My name is Sofiane Chafai. I'm actually contributing to the information security community as ISC Square EMEA Advisory Board member. I'm also a charter member of the Algeria Information Security Association. Basically, the scope of my work include governance, GRC, governance, risk management, compliance, audit, and business resilience. What I can tell you about the topic of today is that during my last 15 years, where I have performed many IT security audits, the identity and access management topic or user access management was and still a very hot topic. In every single audit I have been involved, the identity access management is still a big area of concern and issue for so many organizations, IT department, and people involved in the information security. Organization today is still facing many issues on how they manage user access. This is applicable for both of those who have an identity access management system where the process and policy are not followed or not enforced, or those organizations where there is no identity access management system with manual process and people still rely on paper forms, email. A lot of weaknesses in their approval process, change management not enforced, many examples where user account still active on system for those who left organization, or the other issue of privilege creeping, and by adding more and more access for every change in job function without removing previous user access. Today, with all these new devices coming, people bring their personal smartphone, and this will increase, and we will still have more issues. In terms of this presentation and concept, herein are my opinion through private research, practice, experience, and not necessarily the opinion of ISC Square. This is very important for you to know. This is not something which is belonging to ISC Square, as it's all of these things which is included in this presentation is still my opinion. Okay, let's talk. We're going to talk in this webinar about the concept of connecting people and things, how actually user access are managed, how IoT will change the way, and how this will introduce a new model and concept. Finally, we will talk about the main issue and how organizations are requested today to address them and perform a due diligence regarding this new technology. Okay, so let's start by connecting people. Connecting is a very old concept. This has been starting connecting people by providing facilities, bridges, access to bring more and more people together, sharing culture, ID technology, mobile, internet, and finally provide computing capability to things such as car, fridges, home, doors, office, city, health device, sensor, which will improve our lives, make the life easier, and finally change our way of lives. If you look at the slide, you will notice that the beautiful picture with Kantara name, this is a beautiful place in Algeria. Kantara is in Arabic word which means bridge, and the bridge is a metaphor of the connection, and it also the Kantara, and it also referring to the Kantara work group, which is this initiative providing strategic vision and real-world innovation for the digital identity transformation, changing our concept of the user access management to fit and adapt to the new IoT concept. So let me show you how this is coming and where we aim to go. Starting by managing user access. When we talk today about user access management, we are referring to users, employee, partners, supplier, third party, or related to people entity. It's about managing access for people who need to perform their duty activity by using system, and they need to have access. But we could refer today to a home door which will be open depending on your car position given by an external GPS system as an example, a machine-to-machine, or how can sensor send notification to another platform which can trigger a remote control device. This is happening today, and it's very important to notice. So when the shift to a new model where people and device are connected, people have access to system and facility, or people can have access to device can have access to another device. The concept of user has changed to identity and the access to relationship. Today we are talking about identity relationship management. What that means? That means that the user access management has evolved to identity relationship management. So let's go further and let's see how this shift is actually done from traditional security model. The ability to access data anytime and from anywhere has created need for business to change the way they secure data. No longer is network security sufficient. We must transform the traditional security approach to an identity security approach where the security is not defined based on where you are located inside the firewall or outside, but who you are, which means your identity. With the average person carrying 3 devices nowadays, demand are on business to secure data on device where traditional access control models does not apply. To enable and adapt to the changing demand of users, business must transform the enterprise from a security of know to a security of knowing. We must be able to enable the business to access the information and apply correct security, so it's only accessible by the appropriate individual. A system is required today to make access control decision without previous configuration of the entertainment by the end user or knowledge by the end user by the administrator of the system. By relying upon the concept of user and object attribute defined between organizations, the attribute-based access control avoids the need of explicit authorization to be directly assigned to individual user prior to a request to perform an operation of the object. This will definitely change the way we are managing the user access to people inside our organization. To explain more, we will take the airbag model of most of you should know, which is stand for role-based access user profile model. Which is based on the job duties or job description and set of well-known security principles such as the need to know, the segregation of duty, and the least privilege. For instance, if you are managing user access to a set of corporate systems, such as, for example, ERP system in our example, the user management will be based on user roles. Therefore, user will be set to a particular role to perform his job duties. This is widely and common model used in all corporate organization and company. As long as you got a particular profile, you will be allowed to perform activity related to this particular user profile. Any change should undergo a change management approval, which will trigger a change of the role and user access. The role change is not dynamic. It's something you need to request and you need to perform. If you look at the next slide, which is different, the attribute-based access control is different from the previous model. What that means? If you look at this slide, you will notice that the access is granted based on the user role, but it will depend on a new parameter which defined as the context. The context is a new parameter which can be the location, the time, the IP address range, or specific event. For example, finance application, for example, in this slide, the finance application access will be granted to Muhammad based on his role and the time between 8 morning, 5 p.m. evening. Let me show you how this new parameter works in the IoT context. So, a pre-authorization should be required to know who can query a device or get the access in our previous example. A role has been assigned to Muhammad to access finance application. The new parameter introduced the need to be there as well. Muhammad can access to the finance application between 8 p.m. to 7 p.m. The new parameter in our example is the time are changing. Therefore, the access control decision remaining on this new parameter, which is in our example, the time. What that means? That means that the access control decision is not a static, is now dynamic. This is the main difference, as systems are required to make decisions according to the parameter without previous configuration of the entertainment by the end user of knowledge, by the end user, by relying upon the concept of user and object attribute-based access control avoid the needs for explicit authorization to be directly assigned to individual user prior to a request to perform an operation or the object. So let's go further and let's see how is this context. The context is a new parameter used by the system to take access decision. It can be location, identity, time, activity. And the context is built on rely on external trusted system, which can be a sensor, which can be a device, which provide information such as location, time, activity, behavior. Let's be more specific with a real case study. In this slide, we will see how we can automate the action of opening the garage door. The assumption is the garage door to open when I drive into the driveway. So let's talk about smart home and how we can automate this action. The process will be based on the following assumption. As I told you, the garage door to open when the owner drives into the home road. For that, the owner should be approved and the user authorized, and user should be authorized to query the garage, i.e. the car owner should be somewhere register in the system, and we should have a kind of geo-facing capability to notify the garage door that the car is in the approved area. So this is the perfect example of the IBEC model with the new parameter, which is the context. Today, the IAM system, the identity and the access management system in a large company could manage as many as 10,000 identity, and were able to provide service to all the employee and multiple partner supplier, each of whom was connected via one device. Now the average number of devices for each user on the platform can be a double or more than that. Identity access management platform are showing a clear sign of strain, and when connected car and domotics technology become routing, this platform will sink into complete obsolescence. That means that the actual model we have will not be able to sustain the 26 billion of ID of device which is planned for 2020. So let's talk about security, which is another hot topics in our presentation. The security is as strong as your weakest link, which is very clear today. Because there are several architecture and protocol, the challenge is that there are no clear and agreed upon approved architecture for building such system. Your light switch might have one level of encryption, and your remote another. One may use Zigbee, another can use Bluetooth, and another one will use Wi-Fi. Bridge to connect across them will abound. Even if an independent system are secure, we will cobble together system, and the chain will only be as strong as the weakest link. This is today the reality, and we will see how this security can be very challenging today, and has to be introduced in your risk assessment in our corporate organization. So the security and privacy concern, the problem actually is, the big problem with the Internet of Things is that many organizations with no experience or expertise in the IT security are jumping into this space by simply adding connectivity to their device. The early research done has revealed that there is a poor authentication. It's a common weakness to all typical IP-connected IoT device. There is problem with the smart light bulbs, IP camera, network attached storage, and wireless printer. We need to change the plug-and-play mindset by putting security in the early stage of the device design. The security should be done by design. The other challenge is how to apply fixes and patches to several devices which rely on different technology, system, and OS. Today, device and sensors speak a lot of different protocols, but most of them are not HTTP. That's why application development in the IoT is hard to be implemented. There is a lack of decent application integration layers. Today we have many separated solutions. As consequences, there is no overall framework for how to recognize and manage identity across different solutions. Again, security and privacy concern with most mobile and smartphone, which are actually facing many issues. For instance, mobile and smartphone vulnerability are today in the top 10 of the OWASP listed vulnerability. Very weak password reported in a huge number of devices. Most of authentication devices use default credential. Credentials are transmitted in a clear text. All the security holes must be communicated to the management and must be addressed. So the problem is how to address the IoT security issue. There is a very nice sentence which is coming from Latin, si vis pacem para bellum, which means if you want a peace, prepare for war. This is a very, this is actually a very important, because we need to include all the new risk bring by IoT to our business in our annual risk assessment. We need to also to evaluate the threat level, or what we call the surface attack related, to understand how IoT can threaten our system and infrastructure and the impact in our resilience capabilities. Secure by design is a must in IoT security. Should not be an afterthought, and especially in the IoT context. Get the experience of peer by sharing this experience and knowledge, seek for solutions that have been approved, and get the accreditation by neutral bodies. Standardization and open approach can help to adapt and address and maintain an acceptable security level. Thank you, and feel free to ask if you have any question. I will be more than happy to respond. Thank you.
Okay, Sofiane. We have few questions, and I will read them and you will be able to answer. The first one is, what could be some of the challenges to transform from a traditional to a new way of access management system?
Okay. What could be the challenge?
The question, what could be some of the challenges? Just to mention a few of them.
Yes. Yeah. What could be some of the challenge is how you as an organization, in your organization, in your corporate organization, how you will integrate all this new device to your organization, and how this will be integrated in your identity and access management system. This is for me, this is a very challenging thing, because the thing is, when we talk about identity and access management, we are, in general, we are referring to a process or a system which is in our organization. What that means? That means it's managed by the IT department, and it's rely on the system which are actually inside the organization in terms of process and in terms of control. When we will have this new device, or we will have a new model which is rely on some external system or external platform, the challenge is, first of all, you will need to assess this new technology and to see whether this technology will be should be aligned with your information security policy. This is very important, because this new technology should not introduce some holes to your infrastructure and to the way that you are actually managing your users. So this is for my as consultants and for security point of view, this is the main challenge. You need to do a real assessment of this new of what threat and the level of threat can introduce this new technology to your organization. This is the main challenge.
Okay, the second question is, are there a different application that provides such a service considering the size of an organization?
Can you repeat? Are there?
Yes. Are there a different application that provides such a service considering the size of an organization? I think they mean that the application which provides such a service of accessing management and
different applications such
different application that provides such a service of access management, this new access management that a company, for example, is going to implement.
Yes, yes. This is this is very important, and this is an interesting question about this system. Today, when we talk about this identity and access management system, we are referring to something we have in our company, in our organization, which is a system which will manage user, but can manage mobile device or what we see MDM management system, such as smartphones, such as mobile, or such as what we call the BYOD. So this I'm referring to also to this system. So the problem is we need to know exactly what kind of information our users, in terms of corporate information, can be exchanged or can be transferred in the system. So if, for instance, if you take a system, or if you have, if you rely on external system, or if you outsource the management of a part of your system to external third party, you need to avoid that some very confidential information will be hosted at something you are not, or is not under your control or under the umbrella of your IT department or your security department. This is very, very important. So where a system can, because system can be hosted within your organization, or it may be something on the cloud. So that's why, and again, the risk assessment should be very critical. So prior to take any decision, we need to do a real risk assessment and need to know exactly where this information, or where the users who are controlling the users, whether it's inside the organization or outside the organization on the cloud, or if it's outsourced. So this is very important. It's not because today we are shifting to a new model. I know many organizations who actually are outsourcing many things, and even the user access management system. So it's something which is very critical and need to be assessed.
Okay, the next question is which are the proven technical solutions currently existing?
Okay, the problem with the IoT and the problem with the identity access management in the context in IoT, that there is no a specific standard which can be which is actually approved by all. It's that's why we have this Kantara initiative. That's why we, because there is a lot of technology, there is a lot of technology, there are a lot of systems. So actually, the problem is there is no an approved standard. And if we use the standard we have actually, this will not, our framework, our standard framework in information security need to be updated. We need to update the standard we have according to this new technology. So the response is actually we don't have something which is approved by all to cover this identity access management in the IoT context.
Okay, the last question is, have you ever heard of the ORBAC model, which seems to provide since 2003 a new access control model paradigm, and very similar to what you really need when access to a person and things?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, but I have I did, but this is as well included in the presentation when I talk about just one thing. RBAC model is something known by everyone because is the most the widely used model actually. The ORBAC model is something we have nothing. I have not included the ORBAC model in this presentation because is not something we actually used by organization. Is not most of the organization actually are using this the first model, which is the RBAC model. The ORBAC or even the ABAC model is something new, so it's not, even if people know the model, is not implemented as the first one, which is the RBAC model.
Okay, thank you, Sofiane, for giving us this highly informative presentation. I believe the attendees had the chance to learn many new things today, and I suggest you to take time and see our future webinar that we will be hosting. Next Wednesday we will host a webinar topic which is called How to Turn an Incident into an Opportunity for Your Business Through Effective Incident Management. You can also take time and visit our website www.pcb.com on the webinar section to register for our future webinar. Thank you once again and hope to meet you soon in our future webinars.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.